Hello everyone, my name is Master Shimmy, and this is part 1 of God of War 3. And unfortunately, I can't play 1 and 2 on stream, because I can't play them on a YouTube stream because, you know, they're PlayStation Now, so you have to stream the games on PlayStation through the internet, which doesn't, you know, can't do it, unfortunately. Then, you know, I've played every God of War game. But, you know, I was looking to replay this. I've completed it 6 times before. It's actually quite a lot. This will be my 7th playthrough. And I just replayed God of War 2 yesterday, or the day before. So that's fresh in my mind. Well, it's not really not fresh as in I forgot, but you know, I just wanted to get back into the swing of things, I guess. Yeah, I'll just start in one moment. Even though I've completed this 6 times, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it, which I'll get into. But you know, I do love this game a lot, and I have the platinum for it as well. So yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, make sure you don't see any of those spoilers. I just pressed new game. I played on normal. I'll play in a second.
My vengeance ends now.
The thing with God of War games is they're not really fun on higher difficulties because everything just does so much damage. That's all, like, that's like the main, everything is just does so much damage. And it's very hard to avoid damage.
Victory. A victory that ended the Great War and brought forth the reign of Mount Olympus. Born from the depths of the underworld. Rooted in the River of Souls. Our mountain emerged out of the chaos. As it grew, so too did the might of the Olympians. We created a world of peace, a world of prosperity, a world that lives in the shadow and safety of my mountain.
This intro's so cool.
A mountain that has come to be the absolute measure of strength and power.
I'll be talking about the music a lot because I love all God of War music, especially this game. This is my second one as my favorite music. Second.
That power is to be tested. The mortal Kratos seeks to destroy all that I have wrought. Brothers, put aside the petty grievances that have splintered us for so long. We will unite.
It's Persis.
We will stand together.
Destruction.
And I will wipe out this plague. Olympus will prevail.
Yeah, it looks so cool. I don't think this looks cooler in God of War 2 though. His hair looks kind of strange in this. He's so cool. Same with Helios. Again, it's just later, but they don't use the characters to their full extent. I loved it. Oh, this part's so cool.
Your son has returned. I bring the destruction of Olympus. The Titans will fail again.
I will say this is like by far the easiest God of War game, at least out of the original trilogy. It's definitely a lot easier. And actually, the hard mode is more comparable to 1 and 2. Yeah, like the final boss, the part 4 of the final boss, is quite hard. Especially part 4 of the final boss is quite hard. But the rest of the game is more comparable to 1 and 2 when you play on hard mode. Exciting. And I'll also just get into this, you know, not hide my true feelings, but I hate the story of this game, and God of War 2, and Ghost of Sparta. I just hate watching the trailers. Like, he, you know, redeems himself at the end of 1, and then he just goes on evil, murdering, you know, rampage, completely ruins all his character developments. And it's not just that, but they make the Kratos, people still act like Kratos is the good guy. Like, oh, he does bad things, but he's the good guy. The gods are the heroes in this. Like, Kratos is invading cities, killing people, and killing gods. Not even talking about areas, like killing Thanatos. And then, you know, he's going on rampages, trying to kill Zeus. And you know, just being not a good creative person. You know, potentially worse than Ares. While losing, then people act like the gods are the scumbags. And the way people talk about Zeus is also really it's kind of cringy. But I love I hate Zeus, but he's the good guy in this. It's not just that they made Kratos evil, but also that the way that, you know, the game kind of reacts to it and the way people react to it. So. But the combat in this game is, you know, you can't deny that. And the graphics are amazing for 2010 as well. And there is some parts of this game where I think they could do more with the graphics. I don't know, you know, I think the game kind of doesn't have great pacing. Everywhere else is good. Oh, I forgot to touch this. Where you can just use your magic. Last time I played this is in like May of 2024. That's in theaters. It's been a while. And yeah, out of like God of War 1 is my favourite game in the series. And then I'd say 4. And then 3. Then Ascension. You know, I have Ghost of Sparta last, but it's a really great game. So like the locations, just the combat is really good as well. And then I have 2. Then Chains of Olympus. I know most people not agree with putting Chains of Olympus above 2 and putting 2 second last. But I just don't like the story in 2. Even though I think this you know, game is amazing, there's some like really annoying sections. But it does have the best boss level, in my opinion, in the series. I get back? No. No, I'm fine. Yeah, this is definitely one of the best intros in any game. Just getting right into the action. But actually, I think God of War 2 is a better intro. Just the battle of raids, so cool. I think the costume is a better boss fight, so. And I love the way it looks. I think it looks really cool. It's a lot more varied than this. This pro, you know, tip, use your magic. You're about to get this, I guess. Yeah, this game definitely does it the best. Quick time events. So cool. I would have originally said like Ascension's favorite, second favorite. When I think about it, the game, it does have some story problems. I love the story, I love the way the game looks, but having, you know, the combat does have some annoyances. The game would be so much better if they just allowed you to have your full combos, I think. Like, the game would probably be my favorite if you had full combos at all times. Like, you have your rage meter, instead of giving you like the full combos and the abilities, just make it so it gives you the abilities. Like, that, you know, that works fine. And the magic is kind of useless. Not useless, but it's not really important. But that just doesn't make much of a difference. And also, that was Hades pulling down the electric guy. I wasn't looking, but that's what happened. I love this song. Cliffs of Battles. The parry, I think, is much more responsive in this than God of War 2. It runs a lot better, which, I don't know, feels smoother. Sometimes in God of War 2 the timing just feels really off for some reason. And the sound is better. The sound thing, kind of, not annoying, but it's very obvious. Or it's very like apparent, the parry sound in God of War 2. The way he cancels is really so. And I think one of the things is because the combat is so smooth, it just ends up feeling so much easier than 1 and 2. And I think 1 is the hardest out of them, out of the original trilogy. This game does have some, you know, big quality of life improvements. Just like being able to, you know, climb much quicker, like all the combos you can do on walls. I won't say too much, but like, the game has this really advanced combat system, you know, loads of improvements, but there's not enough time to use them. That's why I think there's problems with the gameplay pacing and the story pacing. And I think with God of War 1, combat is still so good in that game, that even though I think it's probably a little more fun in this, because they're still really close in terms of combat, the story is what makes the difference. And you know, ultimately I think the story is just 10 times better, 100 times better than that. And the music is slightly better. The music is really close in all 3 games. I'm gonna absolutely wreck this guy. Essential. Come on. Or like if they just made Ascension but used this combat system. But I think the Ascension one actually does feel really good. Like with how it feels very heavy and impactful. But if they just made the full combos available and also made it so that the parry, first of all you don't have to press X when you're doing the parry, and if, you know, with no delay, if there's no delay, it would be like the best game easily, I think. I think with 2, like by the end of the game, I think they'll just I don't know, I think the pacing is kind of weird in that game as well. 1 definitely is the best pacing because like you're on a full journey throughout the whole game. But with 2, some of the combat encounters towards the end can just be like so draining. Or it's just, you know, it's like one after another. Or it's just, you know, they're very... For example, I was playing it I was thinking, like, the skeleton elevator, this is like the worst thing in any God of War game, any worst encounter, besides like, God of War 1 Ares, which is, I hate God of War 1 Ares. No, it's not even, I really like the first two phases, especially the second phase. Well, actually, speaking of Ares, it's right on the ground, there. But, I think, yeah, I really like the second phase, where you're defending your family. The third phase is just abysmal. I think it's, in my opinion, it's my second least favorite boss in any video game. My least favorite is Consort Radahn, which I just hate. I haven't even played it since I know they nerfed it, but you know, I haven't played it since then. I mean, actually, I probably won't even save the game. I'll just do a quick save. No, auto save, sorry. I love this one. Well, not just this part, this phase of the boss. I've replayed just this one phase so many times. I love the combat and the music. Also, the corner boss is called Hippocampus. That's the name of the creature. And also, if you stay here the whole time, you can't get hit. Besides at this part, but this part's very telegraphed. Power where he goes forward. This part's so cool as well, when he parries it. Definitely top of my favorite tracks. Oh my god, it's just so... That's the trick, just do that. Well, I'll be honest, I'm whooping the boss's ass right now. The reason I like changing Olympus more than 2, and you know, just start it. The good thing about this is you push objects so much faster, Because in 1 and 2, you'd have to, you know, do the shove kind of with the objects. But even then, it's kind of tedious. Have to, you know, go up to it, grab it, and then hold X. But this is just way faster to just push it the whole time. Same with swimming. Even though there's barely any swimming in this game, it's actually faster to not do the charge swim. You just do normal swim. Also, yeah, that's one of the greatest things added into this game, the ramp. But I basically never used to throw anymore in this game. Like, I use it all the time in 1 and 2. Nope. Yeah, that's right. That's what's really cool. The wall combat they improved on. I love this part. Oh, I love the music here. Explain this.
Challenge me, mortal. A god of Olympus. A true warrior does not hide, Poseidon. Leave the sea and face
sounds so
me.
weird. The tone now it has like this weird distortion with it. Bad quality. But yeah, in my opinion, this is the most overrated boss in the series. I mean, it's still a good boss, but it's nothing special besides the spectacle. The gameplay was even after even the second phase, you just see it's not very well paced. My 3 favorite bosses are, my favorite is the boss that comes later in this game. The second favorite is Zeus from God of War 2.
Kratos, jump to my hand!
I really love it. It's just epic, and it's really good gameplay in this. And I just love I love the QTE, I love the music. And then third would be the Sisters of Fate. Or Lachesis and Atropos. They're probably technically better than Zeus. Just everything that Zeus fight I love. But this part is kind of like, it's paced really weirdly. You have this really epic part, just epic music, and then you just second phase, just hold him up against the wall. I forgot to climb up for that. The second phase, just climb up. You just hold him up against the wall. Or he just, stands there. Or you just stand there and the music comes to a halt. I heard that last one, or second last one. You have to always try to get your hits. Yeah, no, when I say I hate the story for this game, I do mean that. I think it's terrible. Why did I press? Sorry, that's what I get for hating on the game.
For the greatness of Olympus.
Press X. Yeah, I think Kratos' voice is a lot better in 1 and 2. It's like a weird tone shift. It's just like louder, kind of angrier. Even though like in God of War 2 he gets angry, but his voice is like cooler. It sounds cooler and it's more, like composed. I mean, you could say like it's like a story reason, but his voice wouldn't change that much, especially when they redid the voice line at the end of God of War 2 at the start of this. In my opinion, it sounds cool. Okay. Fine. Didn't look for somebody. The same circles. See, boss so well done. And with the pacing of this boss as well, like it's just a weird, goes from the really, you know, exciting part to the calm part, and then it just goes to the same position you were in before. It's like weird, it's like the music just suddenly starts again. It's like Kratos, really cool shot of Kratos here. I think, I don't know, even the graphics are amazing, it is still limited in some ways. So like when you see the mountains, the landscape does look kind of weird when you look at the distance.
Zeus should have kept you where you belong. No matter how many gods fall, there will always be another to stand against you.
They will fall as well.
The death of Olympus means the death of us all.
Then prepare for your death, Poseidon.
That's not, I thought he was cold, so that's... Like, you can clearly see Kratos is just not the good guy here. Because Poseidon's protecting it. You know, Poseidon's right, if you destroy Olympus, you'll destroy everything. Then, you know, Kratos doesn't care. And my main problem is, like, first of all, Ares is the reason for your family's death. Or for your family's death. And he's also angry because he wanted the gods to wipe his memories, or to like make him forget, but they never promised. They kept their word. They said, "We promise to forgive you." But then he gets angry when they do that, but don't make him forget it. Like, don't relieve them of his memories, which they never said they would do. It's just completely unjust. Like, just the moment where Kratos should have seen, like, yeah, I just killed, you know, millions of people.
Kratos, the death of Zeus is within our reach. Climb to my hand.
A lot of people do complain that the game is, like, has no color palette, which isn't fully true, but it's, you know, in some ways, like if you look at Gaia from 2 to 3, she kind of lost all her color, and later on in the game it does get kind of grayed out. But the game is also beautiful in some parts, which you'll see later. Like, it looks amazing in some parts. I love this part.
What will you do, Father? You can no longer hide behind the skirts of Athena.
Athena is dead because of the rage that consumed you, Kratos. What more will you destroy?
The hands of death could not defeat me. The sisters of
This is a
fate
very cold
could not hold me. And you will not see the end of this day. I will have my revenge!
Excellent child!
Like, when
I
you
will
think about it, it
tolerate
should have been the
your
hands of
insolence
fate
no
could not
more.
hold you. It's the hands, you know, are what hold you. It's still a cool little way. He has a very cool vibe
I
here.
can hold on no longer!
First.
If I help you, we will both fall. Even now, Zeus gains.
The destruction of Zeus is why you saved me from death!
I saved you to serve the Titans.
Do not deny me my revenge!
Listen carefully, Kratos.
And it says do not die me my revenge. I love that bit.
Nothing more. Zeus is no longer your concern. This is our war, not yours.
This part's pretty fun. The music's good with it. It's kind of funny as well.
I have lived as a warrior. I have died as a god. Having suffered the ultimate sacrifice, I have been denied release. I will defeat Olympus. I will have my revenge.
The music's great in this part as well. And you will notice later on a lot of God of War 2 music is used, but it fits right in. This game, it has great music everywhere, gosh. Especially the new tracks from this game. Great. I will say this is kind of where the pacing just comes to a break. The start of the game is just really epic. And, you know, huge scale battles outside of Mount Olympus. And then, yeah, without saying too much, it just doesn't really get to that peak again. Because at God of War 1, the pacing is consistent throughout the whole game. And even though this game is longer than God of War 1, that to me that actually feels longer. It feels like it does more with its time. And this part of the story coming up is also kind of
Not finished,
dumb.
Zeus. The gates of Hades have never held me.
Death cannot hold those with purpose, Kratos.
Athena,
I have missed you, Spartan.
I don't.
My sacrifice to save Zeus has brought me to a higher existence.
You still appear to be an Olympian.
Appearances can be deceiving, Kratos.
So can the children of Olympus.
Perhaps. But remember, my death came by your blade.
My blade was meant for Zeus. Be quick with your words.
As we speak, the war for Olympus rages on, and mankind suffers.
Let them suffer. The death of Zeus is all that matters.
Zeus will not fall as easily as Ares. To destroy the king of the gods, you must seek the source of his strength. The flame of Olympus.
You once sacrificed yourself to save Zeus, and now you seek to destroy him? What has brought about this change?
I see truths where I did not before. Perhaps these will earn back your trust. These are the blades of exile.
cold. A little warm,
They
kind
will
of.
help guide you on your journey to the flame.
Even though I really like how they look, they're kind of like
Remember,
cartoonish
as long
in a way.
as Zeus reigns, there is no hope for mankind. Destroy the flame, Kratos, and the very foundations of Olympus will
The
crumble.
screaming bodies are kind of funny. I mean, Blades of Chaos are definitely my favorite. But I do prefer these to Blades of Athena. They're obviously all still all the blades are really cool. Chaos. Classic's the best. In terms of moveset, these ones are definitely the best. Oh my god. Okay, well, I'm not counting that. Like in God of War 2 and that one puzzle near the end where you have to activate the air in that lift and you have to pull the lever. Just gives me bad memories, stuff like weird camera angles. Whenever there's like a weird camera angle, it's kind of hard to see where you're jumping. That can always be really annoying. The best combo, realistic, the best short combo is square triangle, for all purposes. I always like doing long combos, trying to maneuver around the enemies, just trying to stun them while doing it, or doing it from a distance. But the basic heavy attack is so much better in this game. Not so much. Well, not so much. It's probably like about the same. But the one from 1 and 2 where he has to spin, he has to like the vertical spin. It feels really slow. Like, I don't even know if it is slower, but it always feels really slow and like heavy to do. But it's you know, obviously the effects do make it seem a little better and more satisfying. So, yeah, I don't want to kill them. That's for instance. Let's get the chest over here. What's actually cool is you can see the statues of Hades from God of War 1. It's a cool callback. Hopefully I remember the location of all the chests. Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. Like the points, the XP is not as... You get it a lot easier than in 1 and 2. Especially it takes forever to level up in 1.
I knew you would be back, Spartan.
And with this, the magic is tied to the weapons, which means you have less to do.
Exile will serve you well, Kratos. Use them to call forth the spirits of your exiled Spartan brothers.
Just give me memories of the arena mode in this game. Like, I think it would be really cool if these games had... Oh god, I couldn't parry. They had like challenge maps, the same way that Batman Arkham does. Like just combat challenge maps would be really cool. I can even have ones where it's like combat, you do a little bit of parkour, or like, you know, you kind of have to race around. Really cool. Because, you know, once you complete the main story, there's nothing to actually really do except to challenge yourself on higher difficulties, or have your own personal challenges. And there's not even New Game Plus unless you use this exploit, which I have done before. And God of War 2 is New Game Plus, so I don't get what he couldn't do it for this. Because it works perfectly fine, and it's actually interesting. Because if you use a weapon you get later, then that weapon is used in like the QTEs against. Actually, 1 second. It's used in the QTEs against the bosses, but then when you get that weapon later on, when you officially should have it, it's not used in QTEs. Only the Blades of Exile are. Even though the underworld is cool in this, it is like some, I don't know. It doesn't do. It could be cooler. I feel it is kind of grayed out. How am I still on this? I'm getting a foot cramp some at the same time as well. In real life. From kicking the soldiers. There we go. Now the strategy when you're on the toy ropes is just you go left and right, like this. Well, I'm not doing it there, but that's how you do it. Oh, cool. You go. He's not doing it because there's no enemies. That is how you do it. Like, I think the underworld does look cooler in God of War 1, even though it is a lot more basic. It's basically just like red water and blood water, but it's really cool. I think that's my favorite area in the first game. Besides the spike wall at the end, that's like the worst thing in the game. Besides Ares, besides that, it's my favorite. Or no, the Cliffs of Matt is my favorite. But then the underworld was. I think that's what God of War 1 is really good at. It's like having each area is like distinct and you get enough time in that area. In this, you know, I won't say too much, you spend like a really long amount of time in one area, but then barely any time in other areas. When those areas are really good. Good spend of time. And also the Gorgons are a lot easier in this game. So, I like it. They can be very Oh, I love this music. They're a lot tiny. They're a lot bulkier in this game. Yes. Nope. That's not what I wanted to do. No, Kratos. Yeah, and also, they kind of make the game easier because when you parry them, you can just like freeze them, or like you can't. So, can you do that in this as well? Definitely doesn't bother me. I did parry them. But anyway, you know, this when you kill them, you can freeze everyone in your vicinity. I'm trying to keep that one lost soul alive. Doesn't deserve death. Kratos stuff looks so cool in this game. This and Ascension definitely the best ones. Like the Golden Fleece looks amazing. Like I think his clothing and his armor does look better in this, but his Ascension has his best model. It's very you know, emotional, sad look in his Ascension. It's, not cool. You know, it's cool for me, but not for Kratos, I guess. No, what? Oh yeah, because with God of War 1 and 2, you're streaming it, so you have to use the touchpad. And this, you just press options. Or, I don't even have enough points. What am I doing? Yeah, I know I'm gonna upgrade the blades first. Oh wait, there's some down here, isn't there? Or do you die? I think there's some down here. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I don't want to die to any spikes, but I have a feeling there was some down there. And even in God of War 2, you're in the underworld for a very small amount of time, but it has this really cool look. But I understand, making a full area out of that one, like, oppressive red colour
Hades,
get pretty
he
tiring.
sentenced me to this eternal torture. My prison of tinder. But now that you are here, you can free me. All I have left
I wouldn't speak so
is
quickly.
my bow. Please,
Or I wouldn't assume that.
free me, and it is yours.
Like, you could literally just crawl out through that hole right there.
The fire! It's too close!
That is kind of always something weird, like, this doesn't activate until you step on that. Even if stepping on it doesn't actually do
What are
anything,
you doing?
the encounter doesn't activate until you... Actually, no, I'm kind of wrong. I'm saying it because nothing has actually happened. So it doesn't really make sense for it to show you this. It's hard to explain. Technically nothing has actually happened yet. So, like, because nothing happened, it shouldn't be showing this cauldron as like a key element. Oh yeah, I need to open it. Actually, God of War 2 does have this
Gods were right to curse you.
it has like this kind of creepy atmosphere. It's hard to explain, but the Isle of Creation is... The music is kind of creepy. It has the... You know, one track you hear a lot is Exploring the Isle, which always has... kind of gives off this creepy... Well, it's just two of them. It kind of gives off this creepy sound. It's very ominous. Well, this is just like pure like action. Kind of badass.
Keep that beast away!
Also, yeah, the thing with God of War 2's story is, you know, in my opinion, it sucks. Not just for changing Kratos, but like, nothing actually happens in the story. It's literally just Kratos goes back in time, and then you're back, and then he fights Zeus, and then it leads to God of War 2. I know you could say that's a simplification. Besides him like finding out things, or like learning more about the Titans, which is, I've always thought was kind of weird. They kind of tried to shoehorn the Titans into the story and then that's no put in God of War 2 entry. But yeah, that's the whole game, it's just you. Nearly the whole game is just you on the island. Exploring the island. It makes for this cool journey. But, you know, nothing actually happens. I also think that like a third of the game is in the last act of the game, if that makes sense. So it's always felt kind of, the pacing kind of weird.
You have gained the bow of Apollo. Inspiring arrows
Once you get to the palace
your path.
of the Fates, it's like this big, you know, kind of climactic moment. Not climactic, it's like where the, you know, the climax starts. But there's still loads of the game left. It kind of feels like it can go on. And one pro trick is just to use this air combo. I know it probably sounds like I'm hating off God of War 2 and 3 a lot, but I do love both of these games. So don't feel too offended. And yeah, something that I find sad is God of War 1 is kind of just seen as like inferior to 2, or feels, you know, well, people say it's great, but it's, you know, it feels outdated, which it does in some aspects. But I think the story and the, you know, the gameplay is still just, you know, it's great. It's still amazing. And I do like how I prefer how you need less feathers in Gorgonite, but they give you less, because it's just if I was playing God of War 2, it feels like, you know, I barely get any Gorgonite. So I like having more, but giving less. I think instead of having less, giving, yeah, you know, health in a big chunk. I never killed these guys. Because realistically, at the end of the day, they've done nothing wrong. You know, I'm probably gonna accidentally kill him here. I didn't. Nice. I'll say it. People who God of War does have some like pretty annoying fans. People who act like the story for 2 and well, I'll get to that later. But the Greek game fans who hate the new games, it's really it's pretty annoying. Like, it's the same with Resident Evil. People who hate like 6, which, even though it's my third least favorite game in the series, it is a good game. Like I hear people they say like I can't play Resident Evil 4 because of the action. Like if you only like how do you like you could say like okay, as a Resident Evil game it's not amazing, even though it is. I'm talking about 4 here. Because Resident Evil has always changed throughout the games. But just as a game it's amazing. So, like do you just not like action games? People who only like if the series like verges off in any way in terms of gameplay, you don't. It's objectively, I think it's subjective. But objectively, it was a great game. And how could you, like people say, I don't like first-person shooters. How can you just disregard an entire? Or yeah, say I don't like third-person shooters. How can you disregard the entire one of the most popular, game styles? Just because it's not your typical Resident Evil. Yeah, it's the same with this. Like, they'll either hate the new God of War games because they think that the gameplay is worse. Which I do prefer the combat in the old games, but the combat's still great in the new games. It's just a different style, and it definitely has better exploration. This always happens here for some reason. Like the pure combat is better, but the exploration and like the traveling is better. And especially because the old one game is just moving non-stop kind of combat, and the games are a lot shorter. Like I'm just being honest, the games have less substance. There is just less game there to play. While in the games, there's quests, there's exploration, there's story. Like that is, I always want games to have more story in them. Like, there's more story in God of War 1 and 2 than in like the original 6 games combined. Like, realistically, like if you count all the lines of dialogue, there's barely any. There's a story in the old Greek games, but there's not a lot. And people who glaze the stories of these games and act like Zeus is some amazingly crafted villain. He's barely in the games. Even Kratos, who's the main character and who you play as in 6 games, just has so much more character development in the 2 new games and the 6 old games. And that is a fault of these games, I think. You could say it's not a fault, it's just a style, but for a game that is a story-focused game, technically is like a story adventure focused, there's not a lot of story progression happening. That was one of the reasons I don't like God of War 2 as much, because if they had just filled out that full game with more story, even if the story was not good, because there's basically nothing happening. Like from when you get to the Isle of Creation to the Sisters of Fate boss fight, there's like no story. There's basically like no story. They just wanted a way for you to meet all these Greek characters without actually creating a proper story for it. I know I'm like yapping a lot, and a lot of old school gamers, or a lot of gamers, hate to focus on stories in new games, or that gameplay should be first. They say, which isn't wrong. But I think story is really important. When you have a story, that should be a key focus of it, because that determines like the pacing of the game and just how you judge the game. I think. Right, I just realized I did the heart flip, but just like I didn't even think about it while I was doing this heart flip. Just like really failed my mind. It was full. And also, some like with the older games, you spend a lot of older games. Like you do things without knowing what you're doing. Like Kratos, let's say Kratos does like this whole puzzle. Like you know, okay, I'll give an example. So in the new games, there's always a reason for you doing something. The character tells you to do something, or you read something that says, if you do this, this will happen. If you want to unlock this door, this will happen. But in God of War 2, when you're in the swamp, in the temple of Uriel, or Uriale, what happens is, you do like this whole, you know, you go through this whole area, and all you do is just push, and when you get to the end, all you've done is just push the brick out of the window, or out of a hole, which then allows you to move it onto a platform. So this, how would Kratos know that doing all this would allow him to push a brick? That would ultimately allow him to put it on this platform, this other block, and then he'd be able to pull, you know, push that block. There's no way to know that. Like going all the way around to allow him to do this. Unless you say that like the creators of the temple made it so that they wanted whoever was going through to push the brick. It doesn't make any sense. It's like a dilapidated temple. And as you know, one of the strengths of new games is that there's always a reason. You know what you're doing. I know people say I don't care. I like cool action games where you kill, you know, just like explore. But I always just prefer just reasons for things. And that's the strength of God of War 1 as well, is because you are trying to, like, you're moving through this labyrinth. The temple, Pandora's temple, is purposely set up like that for whoever's going through it to like, just make these discoveries. So that it actually makes sense why it's like that. But in 2 and 3, you're kind of just doing things without reason. In God of War 1, there's always a reason that they're trying to, you know, get towards the Oracle of Athens. I feel to me there's always a reason why you're doing something. Like you know, the reason. It's like the guy who blocks the bridge in Athens. He teaches it, like he blocks it off, and then you know, okay, I have to get something that allows me. I need to focus on the game. You know, I need to get something that allows me to get past this. So I think the Minotaurs look way cooler in this game. In 1 and 2 they kind of, in 1 especially, they look kind of goofy. But that first, the introduction to the Minotaur where he like runs towards you and kills the soldiers, I always thought that looks kind of strange. But in this they look like, this is what I'd imagine the Minotaurs look like from Greek mythology. This kind of big beast, it's imposing, has like this spray. Also the graphics help. It just does this weapon with a lot of it. Also upgrade my weapon. No, I can't. Well. And there's also the armored soldiers are introduced a lot earlier in this, but a lot of the games just normal soldiers. You can easily grab. Like I'm not saying, like, oh yeah, I don't like when games are difficult just to be difficult, but I do like the, you know, feeling of difficult. I like how it's just that tiny bit more challenging. You know? Like, I guess here it does make sense why we're doing this, because we have to complete 3 trials. It is also kind of random, we're just like 3 trials here that we have to do to get out of this gate. That is focus on these. Oh, I can drop and then do that. And yeah, I do see some people saying this is like the most perfect pacing out of any game. whereas like perfect length, but I completely disagree. I'll always like prefer if the game's longer, just because you get more game out of it. I did a grapple. I didn't really know. Should have saved that. Also, you don't really notice this unless... Well, I never noticed it until I found out, but in God of War 1 and 2, you can kind of tell it's there, but you never really... the game just explicitly tell you. But in 1 and 2, there's this... the game kind of judders when you hit an enemy. It's not very noticeable, but unless you know about it. The game kind of like, when you hit an enemy, there's a very slight freeze every time you hit an enemy. It's not really freeze, but it's like the game lets you fully know there's like impacts. But in this, because it's really smooth, and it's, you know, it is more noticeable because of it. When you hit an enemy, the game doesn't pause for like slight, you know, micro nanoseconds. It's not really a pause, but the game does judder when you hit an enemy, which is on purpose. It's giving you feedback. But it was, I like it was in the beta for God of War 3, they did have that in the game. And you can notice it when you're watching it. That was the strategy to get this in the air to start using the bow.
By the gods of Olympus and Order of Zeus, we are the three judges. Face your final judgment, mortal. King Aeacus has found you wanting. King Rhadamanthus has found you worthy. It falls to me, King Minos, to make the final decision. Your future is cloaked in shadow. The realm of the afterlife is not yet ready for you. Beyond that door waits your destiny.
I will say this kind of coincidence, like both this and Dante's Inferno, which came out in the same year, have King Minos. Well, in that it's a boss fight, and this is just a statue. Even though, you know, it is, you could say it's just, you know, it's God of War clone. They both came out in the same year, and they both have this character. And also, Dante's Inferno is amazing. I love Dante's Inferno. I mean, I'd probably slightly prefer this. You know, I think the story is a lot better in that. The gameplay is better in this. Dante's Inferno is really, really good. And I love the, just the atmosphere of Dante's Inferno. I think my main problems with this is like the enemy variety. It's a small bit. Like this thing, Dante's Inferno kind of feels closer. It feels like God of War, you know, 2 if it had PS3 graphics. It's like the closest comparison. Like it kind of just feels like a little bit slower God of War. But also towards the end, the pacing, the 8th circle isn't that great. But I think the game is just, once again, the game, I wish the game was longer. It isn't really a problem, it's more of like a wish. I mean, I think if the game was longer, some of the circles were longer, it would, I think the game would be like even better than this. Yeah, anyway, back. You know, I started talking about this because of King Minos, but he has a really cool boss fight. No, the first boss fight. Even just when you're fighting Minotaurs in this, you see how much easier Minotaurs are. Which I'm not complaining, because they can be kind of like tanks in 1 and 2. Yeah, no, actually, the Lucifer boss fight isn't great. Dante's Inferno. It's the first phase especially. It's not terrible, but I don't really like it. And it has way too much health. I'll say that. Check that portal out in 1 second. Oh yeah, it's not even down here. Yes, anyway. It's just the chests, yeah. It's only a very small thing. The chests do look very cool in this game. I think that's hinted, that's meant to be Calliope, Kratos' story. It could just be anyone. If you play Chains of Olympus and you do go to Elysium. I was going to say this ages ago at the start of the game, but I do prefer Chains of Olympus 2. Because the gameplay is like, it's realistically, it's a little bit better in 2, obviously bigger scale. But the games are very similar, and Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta look really, really good for PSP games. I prefer the story in Chains of Olympus and the pacing. And I love the Gauntlet. That's probably the best thing about the game. The Gauntlet.
Oh.
You are not my daughter.
No. But I know who you are.
You know of me.
Why would
They
you just
said you
randomly
would
think
come.
it's Calliope? And with the billions of souls there.
Kratos.
Show yourself, Hades. Another one of your tricks.
As usual, Spartan, you are gravely mistaken.
Face me, coward!
So eager, Kratos. Relax. Soon enough, we will have our time to play.
As I was saying, yeah, the Gauntlet of Zeus is amazing. So satisfying to use. And the bosses are really good in the game as well. And I really like the... I really like the intro and the Temple of Helios. I think it's a really cool aesthetic. Having like this whole dream what's it? Morpheus, god of dreams. It's like this cool aesthetic. And I think the final boss is really good. Besides the one part where you have to like deflect the thing back at her. Because when first time I ever played the game, there's this like golden circle that appears in the ground, and I thought, okay, I have to stand on this then deflect it. But the thing is, this is like the only spot where if you stand on it, you can't deflect it for some reason. Because once you stand on that a minute later. So I was trying for ages, then all it turns out you have to do is just stand on it. You just have to deflect without standing on it. It's weird. And the city of Marathon, even though you're only in for like a minute, that is cool to be in. With Ghost of Sparta, my main problem is the story. That I think sucks. And also the pacing. Like it kind of has cool pacing. How you go through this journey from Atlantis, it's like the mountains, to Sparta, then back to Atlantis, then into the realm of death. Then it's like quickly. It feels like the game's one loop when nothing really happens. And also, these are like the most underutilized enemies in the whole series. Like, even though they're really cool, you like never see them. Sorry if I'm spoiling too much, but I have to speak my truth. Kind of reminds you of the moon from Destiny 2. Just one part when you're entering into the Helmers. You enter the gateway. kind of what it reminds me of. I mean, it makes sense. That's called the Hellnet. This is basically hell. And this music's from God of War 2. This is like the creepy music I was talking about. Actually, I really like this track. It's good on me. Come on, try to roll away. And it goes Spider. I think the arms of Spider are a cool weapon. But it's actually a really cool weapon. There's also something kind of unsatisfying about it. I don't know how to explain. Well, I do. It doesn't have as much impact as something like one of the some of the weapons features in this game. And there's something else, with God of War 1 and 2, I just do not care about the other weapons. Not that I don't care, but no one's choosing the Argus blade over the Blades of Chaos. It's just way less satisfying, and it's worse. And it just doesn't look nearly as cool. And God of War 2, obviously the blades are really cool. Like, that's the same, they were like, both of those games were just fully designed around the blades. In my opinion. Not in my opinion, but the blades just fit them so perfectly. But when you swap to the other weapons, they just feel kind of slow. And like the Barbarian's hammer, even though it's, you know, meant to be really good for speedrunners and professionals, you know, you can't even roll those. It just doesn't suit my playstyle. And I've never. That's with the Spear of Destiny. First of all, you get it like quite far into the game, so I don't really want to invest into it. But it's just not, you know. Maybe one day I'll use it. It's just, I just think the blades are so much cooler. And even on New Game Plus, you know, why would I use Spear of Destiny when I could use Blade of Olympus to get? So how many are there? Well, not nearly, but halfway. What? Just kill this monk. What? Why am I playing so? If I wanted to, I could just throw it up into the air. I wanted to give it some mercy. Give it a chance. I might level up the bow and collar next. Let's see about it. And even actually up until this point in the game, you might even notice, but there's the puzzles. There's a lot less in this game. Say that. Even the combat puzzles are like in God of War 1 and 2. There's a lot of combat puzzles, which are. How do I get up to this thing? It's that door. How do I get up to it again? I can't remember. Oh yeah, this comes down. Yeah, I need to come down, then I need to climb up. Keep my body moving. I think, you know, having less puzzles, it can make the game like go quite quicker. It was more just like movement and combat. So yeah, don't sleep on this spot. A lot of points here. Actually crazy the way it's moving here. Back to the point about Greek fans who hate the new games. People who, you know, hate, and there's not a lot of people who hate the old games, but people who don't give it a chance. Or like they'll quit God of War 1 just because it wasn't for them. It takes, like that's God of War 4 and Ragnarok. Their combat system is a little bit more like commercialist. You know, like it's more, you'd see that something similar to that in a lot of games. So that's why it's easier to get into. You know, it's more simple, kind of just lock on, you know, hit, block, or hit, parry, dodge. But it's a lot, right, just a lot more like kind of tech. And this is very basic for a character action game, God of War, the classic ones. But it is, like I think the problem is a lot of people don't really get, like, the enemies do a lot of damage in this, and they don't really get the kind of balance between dodging attacks and parrying them, and also getting your big combos from distance is a big part of it, and not getting interrupted. Hard for them to get into, especially in 1. Which, you know, if you start with 1, but 3, the combat system is a lot smoother. Enemies aren't as hard; they don't stun you as much. Oh, Kratos drop. I think I'll get Blades of Chaos times in level 3, then I'll do a bow. That's it. I didn't even have to go down, I could have just got that chest. Wait, this isn't even I'm supposed to be. There we go. We should more this aesthetic. Oh, like that's my favorite aesthetic in the whole series. Well, not exactly this. Yeah, kind of similar to this is you'll see later in the game, but that like it's more so Roman than Greek. But this the shiny metallic like Olympian aesthetic is amazing. It's one of my favorite things about this game when it is featured. Pit of Tartarus from Halo 2. Best Halo of all time. This track from God of War 2 as well. It's a crack. It's not one of my favorites. I like it's not one of my favorite tracks. I do kind of like more the epic, or the badass kind of templates. I know it's kind of corny to say it like that. It kind of, you know, it kind of has this kind of fury sound to it. Like the God of War team would be my style. That was great, you know, describe the style. God of War music I like. Very niche category. That is actually something. The old games clear new games so much when it comes to music. Like it's just so much more memorable and epic. I know the new games, you know, the style isn't meant to be as epic. It's meant to be more kind of like, you know, you're on a North Australia. But I can like not remember really any tracks besides the God of War 14. But I remember like I know every track in the trilogy. What do I do? Come on. Okay. No. I want to keep my gun. These are probably my favorite enemies in the game. And variants that appear later are actually are cooler as well. I was just saying like this and Delphi aesthetic and Rhodes aesthetic. And inside the statue and essentially that's all my favourite areas. Is there something across here? Probably gonna die. Yeah. But I needed to check. I mean, yeah, let's just be stated, like, the stories are incomparable compared to the new games. They just have better stories, better character development. In every way. Also, before the cutscene starts, I want to say, I love the way Kratos looks in this cutscene. There's a couple of moments where I love the way Kratos looks in this game. The way the fire gleams off him, and this looks really cool. The lighting.
Tell you, I have paid the price. Calm yourself, Smith God. Ghost of Sparta? It is you. Well, well, well. I thought Zeus would have killed you by now. I thought you would have escaped this cavern by now. Zeus may have imprisoned me here, but you are the reason I live in torment. I did you no wrong, Hephaestus. I pursue only one Olympian. Well, as long as it's only one Olympian. I seek the flame of Olympus. Do you know of it? For what purpose, Spartan? For the purpose I have chosen. Now tell me, do you know of the flame? All true children of Olympus know of it. They've all come to respect its power. But don't be fooled by its enticing glow. Neither god nor man can touch its lethal flame. I only need to find it. If you can find your way out of the underworld, I'm sure you can find your way to the flame of Olympus. You have been truly helpful, Hephaestus.
I hate these sloth people on the internet. So some, probably trolling a little bit, but he said that Armored Core 6 is the only good game out of Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, and Night Ring. I mean, you can say that about Shadow of the Erdtree because I hate it. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. But you know, Elden Ring is amazing. And Night Ring is really, really good. Like honestly, I prefer Night Ring to Bloodborne. That's mostly just because I'm not a Bloodborne super fan. Alright, I need to swim. No, you come. I think I need to swim here. Come on, Kratos. I guess not. You just go back here, don't you? Oh yeah, because he opens up that door down here, I think. Opens up another door. Or something. Yeah, because originally you drop out from the ceiling, don't you? There's also the trick, just roll and press square if you want to move quickly. Actually, does it work? I'm trying to... Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. It's because they made it so you can do a quick light attack, you know, after coming out of a roll. So that's why you can move so quickly with it. And it works in every classic uploading. And another thing I don't like about Ghost of Sparta is that, in my opinion, by far has the worst intro of the whole series. Like, very forgettable. It's not really, like, clear when it ends as well. I know that sounds like a weird problem, but it's just a very forgettable intro, a very forgettable boss as well. So, it feels like, you know, NPC Greek God of War boss that they wanted to have to start. It was just like, it could literally be at any game, it would just fit in. It's kind of just a random boss. not interesting to fight either. And it kind of just blends in with the rest of the game. Something special about the intro, really. And that's my main problem. You kind of spend loads of the game just there's no like direction. You don't really know what you're doing. You're kind of just moving through Atlantis. Like obviously I know what's going on in the story. You are just moving through Atlantis. There's nothing really happening. You move to Atlantis, you move to Heraklion, go to the mountains, then you just loop back. And nothing much actually happens.
Kratos?
The blade looks amazing in this.
How do you know of me?
You're the ghost of Sparta.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows who you
This
are.
is every time you meet someone, they
Everyone is
instantly know
afraid
who
of
he is, even if they've been on
There
the other
are
creation.
reasons for that.
I'm not afraid of you.
It is good you're not afraid, child. Fear is a heavy burden.
I'm not a child, Kratos.
It does not matter what you are. My concerns lay elsewhere.
Kratos, please. I need you to free me.
The quest for freedom is also a heavy burden. I cannot help you.
I love this track as well.
You have regained the blade of Olympus.
Yeah, let me not
Let the
repeat that.
rage of Sparta fuel your blade.
But you know, the blade is cool, very cool, especially in God of War 2. It is very overpowered. And it looks and sounds very cool in this. The animations are really good. The main problem is that... Actually, the animations aren't that good. The main problem is that it kind of just sucks. It doesn't suck compared to the other rage modes. It's not satisfying and it's ineffective. Especially coming off God of War 2. Love that track. And yeah, and the main benefit of it is just that it makes you invulnerable. Pretty much. But weapon wise, it's not that good as a weapon. And the attacks, they're unsatisfying kind of. They don't really track the enemy very well. Or they kind of just phase through them a little bit. Like it's kind of hard to stay on target if you're just moving past the enemies. It's like the most sloppiest. It's the slop of God of War 3, I guess. I think it would be cool, even though I did just spread a bunch of hate on it, because obviously it's not bad. And there's an ability, like there's an unlockable you can get that allows you to use your rage meter the whole game. But, when the problem with the Blade of Olympus that has this filter on the whole time, and I don't want to play the whole game, just wait for it. I probably would have done it before if I had just there's no filter. Just for the experience to use it. You could say it's better than 1 because with 1 it recharges really slowly and you can't cancel it, which is the main problem with it. So I spend most of the game saving it until some of the really challenging moments. I do. But it is, in my opinion, the coolest in the whole series, rather than the Rage of Gods. How did I get hit there? Okay, no way. Where's she roll? That's what's happening. I'm trying to get a high combo instead of just killing her. And the effect the Rage of Gods puts on it gives you this Spartan, or the soldier's plume kind of. Around you look like a Greek soldier. Use light effect. No. What the hell was I doing? I took my hand off the controller and scratched my face. Even though I should have known something was coming. And then as I went to press square, my finger slipped onto X. Okay, I jumped. Wait, I tried to jump it down. What? Why? How is he hitting me when I'm beside him? Why am I playing so poorly? Yeah, bonus points for the Spartan Rage and this. It's the coolest icon. Doesn't mean much. There we go. I know this is like a power scaling thing, but it is funny how Kratos can lift up these huge doors, but then if he picks up a body, he has to move really slowly. Obviously for gameplay purposes. So it's very noticeable. You can do it too in the crack of this twist. I was thinking about it when I was playing. Oh, come on. Could have at least hit him. What? Oh, I was going for the charge shot. My dog just grabs down and on. Come on, swap targets. I'm trying to burn the dog. What? Hey, has that happened again? That's like never happened before. Or maximum with him. Okay, there's no way. That was lousy. An image of Hades. Oh yeah, let's say Hades. So cool.
Welcome, Spartan. Come in. Make yourself at home. This time, you
So if you
won't
didn't
be
know,
waving.
Hades is voiced by Clancy Brown. It's Mr. Krabs' voice actor. I think if they wanted to make the Underworld more memorable for this part, for me, you know, maybe you know, you find it memorable. Just want to make it cooler. I think they should have went for more of like this palace, not specifically this part, but like they went with a cool Underworld palace aesthetic, or just more demonic, I guess. Like think of like the way the Blades of Chaos look, or the Blades of Exile, this kind of draconic and demonic aesthetic. They went more with that. So I'm not a game designer, but I should be. You can see it's very noticeable just how much quicker you move. Alright, where am I? I'd have to bring this around that way. Do I actually? You know, the idea. What sort of joke is this? Okay, I probably will get to level 3 either at... Well, I'll definitely get to it once I beat Hades, but there's a small chance I'll get to it before that. Yeah, I'll need to pull this first, then I move it in. That keeps it all. One thing actually I wish this game had was like, yeah. Well, in one of my playthroughs I did it in the Apollo costume, which looks really, really cool. But I wish they'd done it so that you could wear a costume without having like, a modifier on. Just separate the costumes from the modifiers. This way it works is if you use the Apollo costume, everything, you and every enemy does half damage. Which, I mean, it's not necessarily harder, it's just longer. Also, yeah, I don't think I'll get to level 3 before Hades. That's not with this game. One thing that's like with God of War 1 and 2 is that you get no XP for killing the bosses. Always feels strange. What? I was grabbed by the other Minotaur. Or I went into a, you know, a tussle with it. I did. Can't tell me. Don't kill me. Okay. I wanted to make sure I get the finisher. I have to pull this first, eh? Oh, you have to bring the casket up first. Persephone. Pure reference to...
You have wrought.
But it doesn't make sense. Well, I'll get to it later, but... Well, Hades will say more about it later, but... There's no reason for him to be... like, angry at us for killing her. She tried to destroy all of them. She was very close to doing this. There's no reason for him to be angry. I know you could say, well, it's his wife, but... I mean, she tried to kill you. She just said that she hates you. You're still... a bit of a simp. You get chests on both sides. It just seems kind of weird that you have to hit his statue with the casket to like activate something. Because all they're doing is kind of creating a shock, or like a boom. So it's like, you know, you're not even able to get into him inside. You're not even able to hit the statue yet, but you have to hit the arms to activate the next one. That's pretty Phoenix. So yeah, I much prefer that sound. I think the sound in 1 and 2 is kind of annoying. Is there something up there? I don't think so. Let me just check to make sure. Oh yeah, okay, definitely not. Thanks, Chris. Okay, I'll remove this. Yeah, I didn't think they needed to show that. It was quite apparent to the door. If it kept the door open, then I think we'd know it would close it. Actually, no, I need to go. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. Oh, I tried to roll and tried to do an attack after. It was really gone really fast. Oh, come on, come on. Oh, please. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I may as well just take this. Push this, which will open one arm. Oh, I need to open the, yeah. That. then you push this under here, so that the next time you open it, the arm doesn't go back. It's kind of a cool puzzle. I'm just... No, I don't even need to check. I think I'll just do this. You don't even need to hold it in place. Just do this. And it does it. It's kind of nerve-wracking. Or intense. You're trying to get it done all the time. It wasn't even too far off from getting. Is it 700? I'm pretty sure it's 700. No. Sorry, not 700. I mean 7,000. Where's? Yeah, 7,000. There you go. It's a very cool thing.
Kratos, so glad you could carve out some time
I love the
for
way Kratos
us.
walks in the sea.
You know,
Yeah, when you take it to Blade, see it's just
I
punched
sense
over.
some bad blood between us, Kratos. Oh, all the memories. They're overwhelming, really. Let's see. How many sins have you committed against me? Oh, that's right. You murdered my niece, Athena. And what else? What else?
Well, I did just meet it to
My brother, Poseidon. And I have not forgotten that it was you who tortured my beautiful queen. I will see you suffer as I have suffered. Your soul is mine.
This intro is so cool. No, it would have been cooler if it didn't cut to black. It just went straight in. This is a really great boss fight. Probably the second best in this game. It just kind of feels like a Souls boss. At least the first Souls boss. You might have gotten it. It's one of like the smoothest combat experiences. In terms of like attack and dodge and avoid. I do wish the arena looked a little bit kind of just bunch of dark. You know, not like, you know, you need to always be getting your hits in. I jumped over all four of those. Because once I missed the first one. That's why I'm hitting the least. Boy, should always be hitting the arena was on fire the whole time, it would be cool. And it is like very well designed, this art here. Paradox. It will hold to pay things up. I don't like how early you fight Hades. I feel like it should be later. This is what's the problem, like killing characters for some reason. There's no, real growth. You could just say, they're not first off route, they're just video game bosses. He's such a cool character. He's a small character. He's also is very cool. He's super intelligent. So happening. I think that's just the big thing. Just like no dialogue in the past. Very long, except for cutscenes. Even in God of War 3, which brings the story, it's like fun to work on more cutscenes. There's more characters in this. It has more of like a direct narrative. To be honest, I don't even know if shooting him does much. Probably stops. Like, well, yeah, during this part, I don't know if it does much. A tip is you should always be trying to shoot him. Like when he's doing, when you're far away from him. Like, you're really good with this part, you can use your attacks to, like, I failed to do it, but you can use your attacks to try and hit him. But the dogs use it to go. Serve you right. Not gonna have this. It's like hippocampus and owning. Also in one round, hippocampus and beside them with 2 sacrifices. I do pick hippocampus. Seems to better for it. It's part of the circle. But the first time I played this, I didn't know you could move backward. Which I mean, it's very obvious in hindsight. I thought you just had to go, you had to be pulled towards the edge.
Your pain is mine.
Parts like this, I always wonder, like, is there a reason to how these things? Or is there, like, should you swap them between them? They say light attacks when they're faster, and they are easier to cast. Kratos doing this hero stance. Or no, he's doing something. He knows he's the main character. I think if the whole fight was in front of the throne, that would be cooler. If you were like right there. This is a really great boss. So much variety. Just 3 different phases, really different, and they're all fun. Anyways, back to my point earlier with the medium plus. Like when I was doing that thing where I was fighting Hades and we had our weapons linked together. If I was playing on the Plus and I had Forza Hades on, then he would have used Forza Hades. like later on in the game, during another boss, let's say, those pages won't. Feel bad for Hades. I think that he is the hero. Or at least the, not the aggressor. What's interesting is, I was thinking about there, out of the trilogy, if you know this game is like the most amount of Greek gods, and you're in, you know, going up Mount Olympus, it's like the least Greek feeling game in terms of how it looks and the locations, the architecture. It's very like kind of regal, and also like Roman looking. It does look great. Oh yeah, I can now swim in the river Styx. Yeah, losing my power. I love these parts because you can spam this over. Let me check, right. Well, definitely let me upgrade the blades first. Also does the best pose menu. That's the crying guy. Yeah, it's Monk Cerberus.
Souls to attack your enemies.
It's probably like the best or second best overall. Yeah, the abilities are best used like in tandem at the same time. Actually, the thing is, I don't really love the L1X because when I like using a weapon, well, first of all, you're probably not going to be upgrading both weapons, and maybe other weapons later on in the game, without saying too much. So one of them is always going to be weaker, and you know I don't want to like swap between weapons just to swap back. It's like kind of clunky during combat. So I never really used a weapon switch attack. Also, yeah, I won't even be using the Clothes of Hades in this playthrough. We already have these at level 3, and they're just more fun and better. Clothes of Hades are very cool and they're underrated.
Kratos! Can it be? Does this mean Lord Hades rules no longer?
The god of the underworld is dead.
Dead? Ah, Hades deserved to suffer, though I thought his death impossible.
Olympians overestimate themselves.
Interesting.
Thinking about how
I will
jarring
keep
his
that
voice
in
is.
mind, Spartan. You need the soul of a god to use the Hyperion Gate, Kratos.
You could just
That
lift me
one
up
has
so
not
much.
been used for centuries. I'm sure it's broken, otherwise I would have seen my beautiful... You know, Kratos, I wasn't always
You
like
wish that's how it
this.
was.
A monster. I was once the most
for
prized
him,
craftsman in all of
It's not
Olympus.
Zeus rewarded me with my marriage to the beautiful Aphrodite. My mother, Hera, bragged of my talent. But the day you killed Ares was the day my world was torn from me. That day, Zeus became the fiend you now know. Worst of all, he took my beloved daughter, Pandora. My reason for living. I spend my time here trying to recreate her.
You're a freak.
I fail again and
I
again.
did feel bad for
She still lives, Spartan. I can feel it.
a little bit.
You, Kratos.
Kara Magomedov.
You can bring her
See
back
further.
to me.
Your child is not my concern.
But surely you can understand. You were once a father, too.
Stone Cold. Go back this way. I think if all of the Underworld in this game had that forge aesthetic, it would look really cool. More of that classic kind of fiery brimstone hell aesthetic. Obviously this is Hellstone. When we think of hell, most of it's based on Greek mythology. Like in Dante's Inferno, it's, people call it the game the Christian god of war. Really, it's like stuff from Greek mythology. River states. And loads of characters. Just don't let me do that. You're just coming. Fighting probably the most satisfying enemy. I wonder if this one's gonna kill away. Well, I know what happens. I'm trying to tease. Stars. See ya. If someone God of War 2, like I don't like to say, obviously Zeus is the villain, but you don't see him. You only see him at the start and the end. That's just with all the kind of forms of media as well. I much prefer the villain has a good presence. Even just let him be in a mode first. I mean, obviously, you know, in terms of the story, you wouldn't really fit in the adaptation. You kind of have to change the game fundamentally, which I wouldn't mind. Because the story itself is a problem. But yeah, you get like him at the very start and end, and then you have one short moment of the team speaking.
His death
Near
is
the
our
end.
only hope.
Understand this, Athena. Zeus will die.
Roll into the action. Don't get into it. I never get what Kratos did that. I think they just kept doing it when they were trying to show him off during the beta. It's just so random the way he does that stuff. And he looks into the camera. Even this part does look great. Well, I think, especially when it's sunny, it looks really good. I think kind of just mountains aesthetic, I don't love it. Like I think it would be cool if it was snowing here like it was at the top, or near the top. Just give it more flavour.
You live, Spartan. The blood of Kronos serves you well. Quickly, you must help me.
Help you.
Yes, child. Quickly. I suffer greatly. I tried to return to battle, but
Without me.
you know I had no choice. You must help me.
Love this place. Track coming up.
Kratos, do
Very
I
cool.
mean nothing to you?
You were a means to an end, Gaia. Nothing more.
But I must face Zeus. The Titans must take down Olympus.
No! This is my war, not yours.
I'm making this hold forever. There's just hand. Let's try it. Love this part coming up. Yeah, we'll say something about like the landscape and just the location and everything. You know, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Or I think they could have done more with it, but it does look cool. Like, well, you can't really see it from here, but the city at the distance. This encounter coming up is very cool. I love this track. Let's hit something. Okay, retro go. Boom. 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 I press on. It's kind of like totems in King's Fall. It's have a charge on the surface. Remove the energy from going back to Sparta. For my first playthrough, you know, I completed it, and maybe because I played so many God of War in such a short span of time, but I didn't think it was anything like special. So, you know, even though it's still my least favourite, I think it's a lot better than my first playthrough. Like, it's a really good boss. So I'd still, I don't really like to say it. Well, there's nothing wrong with it, it's not special. The bosses are fun, especially the Aeronus. The daughter of Thanatos. But, you know, the game does look really good, it looks really cool. It takes things from God of War 3's moveset. Really cool, like this, like the heavy combat. And it does have some cool locations. Has some really cool locations. Even though you'd think I'd like the volcano would be really cool in the game. You know, it doesn't. It's kind of forgettable. Not forgettable, but it doesn't really have a lot of presence. And there's also a Titan which just glossed over so quickly. I love this song. I don't want to kill us. Please hit us. What? That's it's like some weird things to the camera in this game. Not just the camera, but like, I don't want to try this. Yeah, it's too low. Well, I should be able to get across. Yeah. Some of the barriers in this game, so it's very, you know, restricted on where you can go. Trying to get these pots. Like, it's something I do hate. It's like character action game fans, which is like the name of this whole genre, you know, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, God of War. And a game that's like combo heavy character games. Or like action games. You know, they always look down on God of War. They think it's like too basic. In my opinion, it's more fun than anything. And it's cooler. The music's better. Like, I kind of prefer everything about it. I mean, people, they don't really care about that. They just want to play like these super combo. Oh, yeah, I don't know why I did that. You need to grab it from behind. Yeah, they want to play these games that are like really like technical. But, like just everything about God of War is just cooler, in my opinion. Like the animations, the weapons. Like I think each attack is more memorable. While in like something like Ninja Gaiden, the attacks are a lot more basic. Like, this, even just this combo by itself, is so iconic. Sorry, and yeah, just the effects of multiple weapons. I just prefer like that kind of God of War gameplay cycle. One of the other games, it can just be very like, you know, people will glaze Devil May Cry 5 comments. And it does actually look cool. I can't really say much because I never played it, but I do just prefer this style. It's a little bit more simple, but it's you know, it's more fun in my opinion compared to something like Bayonetta. Yeah, I guess I will just override it. Same save point. Actually, anyway, that is going to be the end of the stream. Because we made really good progress. You know, defeated Hades. So there's 2 gods down. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And I will be continuing in part 2. Goodbye.